Test, test, test. And we're going. We're going. Not sure why everything is so dark on my camera right now. It doesn't seem to be an issue with my settings. It's a issue with the lighting, I think. Also, can't be bothered to care about it that much. Because really, you're not here for my beautiful face. It's a good thing, because I've sort of let myself go. You can check out the neck beard. Waiting on Bill to get his news done. Checking all the bits and pieces and giving everybody a chance to find the stream. Drinking a massive coffee. About the time we get to robots, I'll be doing a ridiculous pee-pee dance. Checking the stream. Checking the stream. Trying to avoid an audio loop or an infinity shot, although those are really cool. Check it out. I'm totally going to use this all the time now. Wow, at FXWare on Twitter is on the ball. They've already liked my stream. It's pretty killer. Thanks for that. I'm not sure who they are, but I'm sure they're awesome. And entirely not one of those buy follower services. That's what you call them. Oh no, looks like it's an actual company. Hello, FXWare PCs. Thanks for the like. We'll even do that for you. See, I am part of Team Follow Back. I'm not really. That's not true. And now we turn on the little moon so that nothing else buzzes. I'm gonna go grab the chat. Oh hey Grayson Todd. We're gonna pop out the chat and move it over, and I can see all your pretty text. Any last minute things you want in the show? Maybe we can squeeze them in. Hit me up. Wow, Bill's typos are real today. Holy Christ, Bill. You must be really serious about the news today. Oh, of course we'll be patient for you, Bill. Don't even worry about it. What do we got here? Oh, that's heartbreaking. There's not going to be a live-action Teen Titans drama on TNT. We might actually get back to top 5 this week since there's movies that people give a shit about. Oh. You know what? I can make use of this time by telling Facebook all about what's going on right now and how they can come watch us and be a part of the events. There we go. Facebook is good for stuff. We're going to talk about Facebook today. It's going to be fun. So much fun. I'm going to wear that out real fast. You don't see the word amok in print very often. Hey, look at that. There he is. He can't hear us yet, though. Neither can we hear him. It's okay, though. We'll get it working. Live from Bill's living room. There's no sound. That is quite a collection of news we've got, though. I've even heard of some of it. I know, it still got his tree up. You know, my tree would be up all year long if my wife weren't so interested in decluttering things. What you doing there, fella?
I was holding the star.
Oh, nice. I see. It's sort of dim. We are live on Twitch with exactly.
Fuck you, Twitch.
That's not nice.
Yeah, I'm not a nice guy.
No, dude, we got a full ass show today. Hey, did you know that there's a built-in chat feature in Google Docs?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, so instead of typing my things into where you're like when I'm trying to communicate with you, because Skype breaks your internet, instead of typing things directly into Google Docs, we could have a chat window open so that I can chat with you.
Okay.
You're not in the chat room right now.
Yeah, it's fine.
It was funny. Katie got home from work. She didn't realize that I wasn't online with you yet. That you were not on Skype, and that you could not hear her when she was speaking into the microphone. And she must have been sitting here for 5 minutes singing to you.
Just assuming that I'm hearing her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry I missed that.
I know. So am I. I wish I'd been recording. That would have been the best thing ever.
Okay, so I was thinking we could have this Netflix shows coming article.
It's really old.
Is it?
Yeah. Like from October.
Really?
Yeah, like it was.
Why would somebody post that to fucking Facebook?
I don't know. I was reading it and it was like, wait a minute, Jessica
Available
Jones.
November 1st. Okay, yeah, no shit.
Like I put it in the show notes and I was going through it and I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I mean, I remember thinking, I think I've seen some of these on there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm just kind of going because I haven't looked at anything else you've got in here.
It's pretty full. Corey has things.
All right, let me grab some coffee and then I'm ready.
Killer.
Oh shit! I got to do an intro. Fuck.
Would you like to hear the intro? Because I don't actually know when you want me to cut in on the song.
Okay.
So I will just.
Your numbers are lucky, though. Am I right? Can I ask you, if you want all the money, what would you do with it?
Bunch of hookers and cocaine.
Oh, okay, that's not good. We were hoping for a different answer.
To those who seek to undermine me, at home and abroad, I cannot respond with anything less than the totality of my strength.
Should start fading out about there.
Awesome.
Yeah, I don't want too much of it. You ever heard Corey Harris before?
No, but now I feel like I've been missing it.
Yeah, he's a genius. he's no, I'm not joking. He's a fucking genius. He's one of those new blues guys. Not new. I mean, he's been around forever, but like modern day blues guys that doesn't get a bunch of play on popular, venues or whatever. But he's amazing. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab some coffee.
Okay. So yeah, 800 million Powerball jackpot. What would you do? I'm gonna ask you when I bring you on. I can ask you what you'd want to do, Corey. I'll ask you either what you would do with $800 million jackpot or whether or not you have any New Year's resolutions. Take your pick, so that I can forget before I bring you on. Sure. Yes, it definitely can be.
I like the cut of this guy's jib. I like the cut of his hair.
Okay. Will do.
Okay, shit. I'm still supposed to come up with an intro.
I can write something for you.
Okay. Go ahead. You've been thinking about it already?
And then I'll just hit play.
Bill, clever shit, and go. That's terrible.
I just remember that one time when we were so crunched for time, you're just like, and we're having a show. That's the intro. Push play. It's been a couple of weeks, and we don't have anything clever to say. Whole ear, we're still... Ah. There we go. For a second, I thought you tried to type dingus. How many times can the dog bark during the show, do you think?
Let's take bets.
You know what? I want someone to keep track of how many times the dog barks or the baby cries. So that by the end of, I don't know, like a month or by this time next year, we can tally it all up and I can serve demerits or something. Remember when there was going to be punishments for me whenever I screwed something up? but I just screw things up constantly, so there's no point.
Well, it's not like anybody can really. Like, I can't say anything.
That was a good idea, though. There's no incentive for me to get any better if I don't ever have to suffer for my failures, you know? So every time I let an ad play because I forgot to mute the browser. Yeah.
2. Actually, we haven't technically started.
Yeah, I know. We're still in pre-show. These don't count until we roll the music.
What are some of the highlights from the show?
You know your news better than I do. The Oregon
not
militia,
news.
dude. I can't wait for you to talk about the Oregon militia because those bitches is nuts. The vagina speakers, hoverboards. Corey's going to talk about comic book movies, Star Wars records, Oculus.
Wait, what's the hoverboard story?
Oh, just that it's a. Wait, didn't we have? A priest apologizes for riding a hoverboard during his church service. Oculus, CES, the opinion bit about Facebook killing phones, POW Wi-Fi, and then the app for blindness and the implant for lameness. I put both of those in impressive because I was impressed by both of them.
Yeah.
Dude, Star Wars though, motherfucker. I wish
Sigh.
I wish we could have seen it together. But now I just want to talk about it. We need to schedule that spoiler cast, you, me, and Corey. Just special edition of just completely geeking out.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right.
Assuming that this actually, because I've got. There we go. That's about how long it takes.
There. Hey, it finally got to me. And did you want
coffee to kick in?
Well, dude, I'm gonna have a serious pee-pee dance going by the time we get to robots.
Yeah. Yeah, we might have to take a break at some point. A pee break.
It's cute though. Can you read this? Katie brings me home a coffee and her baristas write cute little notes to me on it. It says, "Hubby, may the force be with you." It's fantastic. I had a little smile. Okay. Ready to light this candle? Kicking the tires and lighting the fires, Big Daddy. How have we not talked about Independence Day 2, by the way?
Oh. Yeah, I forgot that was happening.
Oh, dude, I'm so pumped about it. All right. It begins. We are at 24 and a half minutes in 3, 2.
Your numbers are lucky, though, am I right? Can I ask you, if you want all the money, what would you do with it?
Bunch of hookers and cocaine.
Oh, okay, that's not good. We were hoping for a different answer.
To those who seek to undermine me, at home and abroad. I cannot respond with anything less than the totality of my strength.
Well, North Korea is now a nuclear powerhouse, but we're still all here, thankfully, because that means we can keep doing this show. Oh, thank goodness. How sad would it be if there were a nuclear war and we had to stop doing Into the Third? That would be the saddest part. Hey, we've got a show. It's been a couple of weeks, and it's a whole new year. We've got some crazies in Oregon, some hoverboards that are unholy. CES is happening right now, and we'll chat about some of those crazy shit going on over there, and Star Wars. You know we're going to have to talk about Star Wars on this episode of Into the Third.
1, 2, ready, go. I hope you keep a picture of me in your mind.
Welcome back to the End of the Third podcast, your source for news, nonsense, and entertainment in the Great Northwest. In this new year, it is Friday, January 8th, 2016. I almost said 15.
Yeah,
Have you been doing that?
Yeah, you got to change it. You got to change it.
I do have to change it in the show notes.
If you're gonna read,
dude, it's. I don't feel like it's a new year really because not much is changing for me. Still the baby. Still.
It's kind of like your birthday.
Still the show.
You know, like you're a year older, but it's exactly the same shit.
Yeah.
Just another day.
Yeah, after 25, because I stopped keeping track of my age after 25. Because it doesn't matter again until I turn 40 and I have to get a prostate exam.
I don't think it's 40 now. I think it's 50.
Is it?
They pushed it back a decade. Yeah.
Nice. Well, I do have to get a colonoscopy though when I'm 40. Because
didn't you take me to go get one of those one time?
I don't know what they did to you.
Isn't that what they did?
That's where they stick a scope in your butt and check out your colon.
Yeah, because I had all those stomach issues.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Drove me home and I was all drugged up.
Yeah. No, I got to get that because polyps run in my family.
Oh
And,
yeah, I got those too.
In conjunction with the sweet sounds of Great Pacific, we have a baby crying in the background.
One.
That's one. This whole crying session is going to count as one. We were talking before the show that we need someone to keep track of all the things I screw up during the show from now on.
Demerits. Sean Demerits.
So that I can pile up some sort of penance.
Did we introduce ourselves? That's Sean.
Oh, I'm Sean. That's Bill.
I'm Bill. We do this show. It's called End of the Third.
What would you do with $800 million, Bill?
$800 million jackpot. $800 million jackpot. The biggest ever, right?
Is it?
Yeah.
Damn, baby.
And you know, it's funny. We used to have this conversation fairly regularly because we met working at a convenience store where we sold way too many lottery tickets. It's sad how many people buy lottery tickets.
Remember when the Mega Millions was up to like 550 and we both bought a $5 ticket thinking for sure we were going to win? Like,
I don't think I ever thought for sure.
Dude, no, we both knew we were going to win.
And you asked me what I would do with my money, and I pretty much gave the same response to the other guy. Except mine was Hooker Island.
Yeah, that was Hooker. Okay. Hookers and blow. That's what we do with the giant jackpot. What about New Year's resolutions? Have you gone down that road with yourself? What you're going to improve about your life?
No, I've given up.
Really? I think as a collective we can resolve this in this new year because we've been talking forever about reintroducing our 2-show-a-week format and averaging 1.5 shows per week.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I'll be in a different situation before too long. We might have to change our tag from the Northwest alone, but
yeah, whatever.
I'm just saying that
Northwest Nerd
given
Network.
Current circumstances,
we are in the Northwest.
My schedule and your schedule, it's really hard to find more than one day a week to do this stuff. What I'd like to do is do something a little bit different. I don't want to do the same show twice a week.
No. That's for sure. No, we were talking about like a half an hour bullet point roundup or something with stuff we care about, or maybe this spoiler cast thing will be a good idea that we can just sort of get together and without much of a itinerary or a docket and just bullshit about some stuff.
You need to.
Well, yeah, well, no, we
format
work it out, but nothing.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Well, we're talking about doing a spoiler cast for the Star Wars movie.
Yes.
But by the way, anybody listening now should be aware there will be spoilers. I don't know. I guess we'll wait until Corey gets here.
Are we going to do spoilers for Star Wars today?
I suspect there are going to be a few spoilers. Not a lot. We'll keep it to a minimum, but I can't imagine anybody's listening to this show who hasn't seen Star Wars. Like this is the demographic that has already seen Star Wars at least twice.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm embarrassed I haven't seen it twice.
I know. I've only got it once. It's sort of sad. I want it many times. That's how it breaks the Avatar record though too. Is not because so many more people have gone to see it. It's because people have gone back again and again and again.
Yeah, I plan on seeing it again in the theater because I want to experience it one more time in the theater, and then I'll probably buy it at some point.
Yeah, no, I got for Christmas I got tickets to see it in IMAX, which
was it 3D or regular?
Yeah, it was 3D. And
see, you do the 3D shit. I can't stand 3D.
I didn't have a choice. It was IMAX 3D or normal. And the tickets were.
I think I'd rather normal.
Well, maybe, but the tickets were given to me. It was an event. We all went out. It was fun, and you know what? Disney does 3D right. They've figured it out.
Was it as well done as Avatar?
Oh, it was so much better than Avatar. Like the technology is such that Avatar looks like crap compared to.
There was too much action in this movie. I can't stand 3D action because as soon as things move quickly, you can't tell what the fuck's going on.
It took me about a half an hour for my eyes to adjust, but once they did, it was nice. It was very cool, and wouldn't pay to see it in 3D again. But it was a good experience, and I'm glad I did it. Hey, you know what we got? Since we got a jam-packed
hold on one
show.
second. I got a quick story. Here's a question. I got a question for you. How mean can you be to somebody that you work with without being like? At what point do you? Because I've got this guy at work that I'm what I would call politely dismissive to, but it's not working.
It depends on what he's being obtrusive about. I think
everything. I just like he sits not far from me, and he doesn't ever shut up. Like he talks nonstop, and I'm dismissive enough to the point where he goes, "Is everything okay?" Because he thinks I'm upset or something like that.
At that point,
I am upset because he's talking to me and won't leave me alone. But
at that point, can't you be honest and be like, "Bro, I'm trying to focus. I got work to do, and we'll have to talk later." Or something.
Well, no, I just say nope.
Well, see, that's. I think you can be politely honest and say, I don't have time to deal with you right now. Not in those words. You can say I'm focusing on my tasks and performing my duties as an editor, and I'll have to talk with you later about all of this crap that you need to talk to me about.
But see, I don't want to talk to him.
I know, but you can always just talk to him later. You don't have to ever get to later. You can just say, I'll talk to you later.
So I can go ahead and be like, well, but see, you're what you're suggesting would propagate this situation where he's going to continue talking to me in the future, and that's what I want to avoid.
Well, at that point, I think you can just say, I'm not interested in your shit.
Okay, because last night he invited me to go snowboarding, and I was like, how are you not getting this at this point?
Maybe he's just lonely, dude. Maybe
no, he's definitely.
Maybe he just wants a friend.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I was pretty mean to you.
Suggestions about how to deal with that, I'd love to hear.
I was pretty mean to you when we worked together, and I can't. You're like a barnacle stuck to me all the time. I can't get rid of you.
So mean to me.
So, do you want to do a list? The first list of the new year. Got a choice for you. Either a bunch of words that you've been saying wrong, some of them are stupid, but a lot of them are right, or 29 Spielberg movies ranked by
I've
order
seen
of goodness.
the Spielberg movie list. I think we could talk about that one in terms of whether we agree with it or not.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen the other list. I haven't like looked at it in depth.
Some of them
or
are
anything.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do the Spielberg one. We're movie nerds,
All
so
right.
let's do that.
Gotta have some list music.
Yeah, well, it buys us time while our slow ass computers, or at least my slow ass
Your slow-ass
loads
computer.
up.
All right. So there's 29 of them. 29 theatrical movies. That means movies that went to theaters.
Right.
Ranked
So my
in
first-
order of badness, from bad to good.
Bad to good, right. So my question would be, right off the bat, would be, has he only done 29 films?
He's only done 29 theatrical movies. Like he did,
Okay.
he did some indie stuff and stuff when he was younger. But his first theatrical movie was 1974's The Sugarland Express, which we will get to in a moment.
Okay, because the very first one on the list is one that, if I were making a list,
Yeah.
I would just end it wherever, right before wherever you are here. You know, I ended it on 28.
We're just not counting this one. Number 29, widely hailed as Steven Spielberg's worst theatrical movie, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Goddamn Crystal Skull. After 4 decades of cultivating a distinguished and rewarding career, Steven Spielberg signed up for another indie sequel. Despite ending the trilogy with his hero literally riding off into the sunset, it was hot garbage. Included a Shia LaBeouf trying to be a bad boy, and Kate Blanchett was in that thing.
Well, I think Shia LaBeouf is definitely a bad boy.
No,
I mean,
no,
there's
no.
no arguing.
No,
but he's
Shia
a
LaBeouf's-
bad boy that ruins movies and
Not a
doesn't.
bad boy. He's a plagiarist and a little shithead.
Well, that's not a good thing.
He's not the greaser bad boy that he was trying to portray. It's also responsible for a new film. You know when a TV show jumps the shark.
Yeah.
When a movie nukes the fridge.
Yeah.
You have a whole new turn of phrase.
That's become a trope now.
Yes.
I think. Writing on a nuclear. I did. We'll come back to this.
You want to take the
Number
next one?
28, Hook. I would argue this was maybe a little too far up on this, or a little too far down, or however that goes on this list. I really enjoyed Hook. Of course, I was 12 when I saw it, or whatever.
If it were not, they hit on it here. Is that it's 2.5 hours long. It just goes and goes and goes, and by the end of it, watching it as an adult, by the end of this movie, I don't care at all. When you're a kid, it's just Robin Williams being goofy and Dustin Hoffman being Captain Hook, which is fun.
That was amazing.
He was the best part of that movie, Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Well, Dustin,
overacting.
usually whatever movie Dustin Hoffman's in, he's the best part.
Is he dead? Did he die?
He better not be.
Oh,
He's in some show on I don't know. I saw it on Amazon a few days ago, and I was like, "Oh, what's this?"
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad Dustin Hoffman's not dead.
Yeah, no, he's a great human being. Well, he's a great actor. I don't know what he's like as a human being. Number 27, 1941 from 1979. I've never actually heard of this. Spielberg's comedic instincts tend more towards the visual than the verbal, a fact that is apparent in this misfire. The movie looks great, but it's shockingly drawn out for a comedy and keeps buckling under its own weight. It's Spielberg. It's like Spielberg wanted to make a comedy, but was also trying to be an important filmmaker who just couldn't figure out how to balance the two. He would later joke the film should have been a musical. I wish they would have actually told us what 1941 was about.
Isn't it a war movie?
I would guess. I'll tell you what. You move on to the next one.
I do like that they capitalize important filmmaker too.
Yeah.
Number 26, 1989's Always. It's an ill-considered remake of the 1943 Spencer Tracy film A Guy Named Joe. I didn't see this one either.
I've actually seen it, but it was a really long time ago when my parents had it on Laserdisc.
No way! Did you actually?
Yeah. This is one of this. We had 10 movies on Laserdisc.
Wow.
This is one of them.
That
And,
you
and I
are
was
a
a small
relic.
child and saw this at some point and was extremely bored by it. Not because it's a terrible movie or anything, but just because it was beyond me.
Corey says 1941 stars Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi, and it was still bad.
Yeah. Spielberg directs his riotous farce depicting the hysteria of a cross-section of Los Angeles citizens following the bombing of Pearl Harbor.
That doesn't sound like any fun.
Corey, you're such a film buff. Number 25, The Sugarland Express. Spielberg's first theatrical release doesn't feel much like a Spielberg movie at all. It's from 1974, by the way. Sometimes, to its credit, it doesn't feel like a Spielberg movie. At times, it almost feels like a Madcap Malick, or feels like, what the hell is that?
I don't know.
Still, you can sense that the young director isn't entirely competent yet. Blah blah blah. We don't know what this is, so let's move on. This is a long list.
I hate when they make references that I don't understand. Number 24, 2011's The Adventures of Tintin. I actually quite liked this movie.
Did you?
In a silly,
an indulgent sort of.
Yeah. I mean, it's a guilty pleasure.
Kind of
I'm not. I mean, because I watched the old animated show. I used to run home from school to get there in time for The Adventures of Tintin on TV.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and this is Spielberg's first 3D motion capture film. Sort of just freewheeling, doing what he wants to do. It's a technical marvel. It's very pretty. And there's a really epic chase sequence. It's the centerpiece of it. It's all done in one shot. It's really fun.
You like those one shot?
I do. If they're done well, I don't like them just because they're what they are. I like them when they're done well because it's a point of emphasis for a movie, like a centerpiece.
23, the Lost World, Jurassic Park. Yeah, that was bad. Yeah,
money grab.
That was, I mean, I'm glad they didn't end it there, and they went on to do another one. That wasn't nearly as bad. The Terminal, number 22.
Did you see this?
I never did. I always kind of meant to and never got around to it. Whole film is set in the JFK airport that's so lovingly put together it'll make you wish it was the actual terminal.
Yeah, it was a big
unfortunately,
replica.
Tom Hanks' lead character is a little bland, and the parade of eccentric airport workers who befriend him grows awfully thin. Still, it's good-hearted.
Yeah, this came out about the same time as Lost in Translation, and I always got the two confused because they looked sort of the same on the advertisements and things. So
yeah, just both in both. I would imagine I haven't seen this one, but I did see Lost in Translation. It was, I mean, slightly depressing, but kind of still somehow uplifting.
Yeah, Bill Murray has that effect. Like he can be the most pathetic character, but you still love him and hope for the best for him. Number 21, The Color Purple, 1985. Spielberg's first drama was an adaptation of Alice Walker's Pulitzer-winning novel. Exactly the sort of earnest, awkward stab at seriousness you'd expect from a guy who'd made his name directing action blockbusters. It wasn't a failure, though. I actually saw this. Whoopi Goldberg is not what I would call she's not really a leading actress.
Mm-hmm. No, really?
Sister act and things.
She's good when she's running a cantina on a spaceship.
Yeah, that is where she's best, in bit parts. But she did really well in this, and I didn't even realize at the time that I saw this that it was Oprah in that other role. I don't remember the name. But they mention here that he's usually got a pretty male-dominated cast in his films, and this is a notable anomaly to that. So he got good performances out of those folks. So good job.
That's pretty normal for Hollywood, though. Number 20, War Horse, easily mocked, most notably in a clever Saturday Night Live sketch, which makes me really want to go see this Saturday night. I really want to click on this link here, but I'm not going to. I'm going to resist that urge.
What? Which one?
The clever Saturday Night Live sketch.
Oh, yeah.
That's mocking War Horse. 2011 film is hokey and overly earnest, yet still pretty much works, thanks to a committed British cast and Spielberg's dogged myth-making.
I saw the not Broadway. I guess it was Broadway, the Broadway thing show of War Horse.
Of it?
Yeah, at the Paramount. It was
really
pretty incredible, the puppetry and things that they did to make the horses move and stuff. So I do recommend that just for if you're a fan of theater.
Check that out.
2002's Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah, this was a fun movie. I remember really enjoying this. Some will grumble at this film's best attribute is its opening credit sequence, but in telling the story of real life con artist Frank Abagnale, Spielberg found a new way to indulge his obsession with absent fathers. And the links we'll go to reinvent ourselves. The movie's retro cool 60s settings were precursors to Mad Men, and DiCaprio's Abnegailed, if that's how you say it, foreshadowed his performances in Shutter Island and Inception.
Yeah, I didn't realize John Williams did that score.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't see
John
that.
Williams is incredible.
Yes.
1997's Amistad is at number 18. Yeah, I don't know. I quite like this movie as well. They made us watch this in school.
History class or something?
It's and it can be seen sort of as a first draft for the type of stirring, talky drama that would later that he would later nail with more finesse in a movie like Lincoln. 19th century. I don't know why they do ask the begging question: why did he cast Matthew McConaughey as the lawyer defending this group of slaves? But the "give us free" scene was intense. How do you say that guy's name? Jimon Honsu. Like him a lot.
I don't know. I saw this in the theater, but I haven't seen it since.
Blood Diamond, dude. He was in Blood Diamond, I think. Yeah, definitely Blood Diamond and Gladiator. Whenever you need a good solid African character, he's pretty epic in everything he's in.
Number 17, Empire of the Sun, 1987. There's a segment of Spielberg fans who consider this his best movie. That strikes us as bonkers, but this coming-of-age tale, which really is about growing up with privilege and learning its limitations and faults, has its moments. It also features a terrific performance from 13-year-old Christian Bale, who, as it turns out, would be heard from again. Where's he from? I don't remember. Who is that?
Christian Bale.
Yeah,
he did a movie where he was like a superhero.
Superhero? Yeah,
something
like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember Empire of the Sun at all.
I was a year old.
No idea.
2015's Bridge of Spies.
This was in theaters
most
not
recent
long ago and had great ratings all the way through, 90+% on Rotten Tomatoes.
And it made no money. It made no money in the theater, which is depressing. And I didn't help because I don't have any money.
Me either.
Tom Hanks
and Steven Spielberg.
Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg always do really well together. Even in The Terminal. Based on the 1960 U-2 spy plane incident. That one's still, I think, isn't it still in theaters in some places? Like you can catch a matinee of that one.
Probably.
Yeah.
Number 15, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I am disappointed that this is this far up on this list, or this far down on this list, whichever it is. I would like it to be higher, because this was one of my favorite movies when I was growing up.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a cross between an Indiana Jones movie and a Goonies movie.
Yeah, well, it sort of dipped back into the paranormal in a way that I didn't really the whole healing of the cup and the thing. It was fun more than anything else. It wasn't.
You don't like it when they venture into the supernatural.
You know what? I prefer supernatural. I know they do. I know they all center around that sort of thing, but this one was just like Bible magic and not.
As opposed to Raiders.
I don't know, dude. It was just different. It felt different.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Dude, that was hot garbage. That was Aliens.
Okay, then as opposed to
Kalima.
Temple of Doom.
Kalima.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just felt different and not as creative, I guess.
Oh, shut up! It was great.
Dude, it was a fun movie. I love it. It was a great movie.
Number 14, Duel, the one TV movie on this list, so it wasn't all theatrical, not a totally theatrical list, but it's included because Spielberg, it's his first break and still compelling and ingenious. The concept is simple as you can imagine. A man, Dennis Weaver, passes a trucker on the freeway, and the trucker spends the rest of the movie chasing him down and terrorizing him. This has been done a billion times since, but this is 1971, so it was probably still a pretty new idea at that point.
There's a Shia LaBeouf movie like that, isn't there?
Of course there is.
It's called,
I don't know.
Isn't it?
I know there's. I saw one with Steve Zahn and I think dude what plays Anakin in the prequels.
Really?
Yeah.
He did other movies.
I know, right?
Oh, you mean old Anakin?
Might be completely making you mean old? But I know Steve Zahn's
old Anakin. Hayden Christensen.
Hayden
Yeah.
Christensen.
Yeah, no, he's done other movies. None of them are good though.
Surprise.
Number 13, AI, artificial intelligence. Wasn't it just AI? It was just AI. 2001, most heavily debated film of Spielberg's canon. AI started out as a project dreamed up by Stanley Kubrick before he handed the reins over to Spielberg.
I didn't know that, but now that I'm reading it, I can believe that. I love this movie. Haley Joel Osment plays a little fake robot boy, and it's like part Pinocchio, part AI, artificial intelligence, futuristic. I thought it was brilliant and visually amazing.
For 2001, For 2001, it was really, really pretty.
Yes, it was very ahead of its time.
He's a real boy.
Was that Jar Jar Binks as an AI kid? Jurassic Park, 1993, as number 12. This became such a global phenomenon that it's easy to forget how much the old Spielbergian skill is on display here. From that glass of rippling water to the darkly comic shock of that lawyer being chomped on the toilet. We don't know about you, but in this age of Michael Bay's and Transformer, we'll take our blockbusters with Spielberg's hand on the till. Yeah, no shit.
Jurassic Park, the intensity and attention to detail, and cleverness of so many of those scenes, and the dialogues and the interactions.
And it still occasionally went over the top.
Yeah, but it was over the top in a way that didn't break it. You know, like the I guess the electric fence scene was pretty over the top, but it didn't break the experience.
Right.
Yeah, and the rippling water and chaos theory and all that shit. That was fantastic.
It's funny. You can just say that glass of rippling water, and everybody knows that, remembers that one moment. You're just like, oh shit, T-Rex is coming.
I know, but it was the same way that the anticipation for seeing the alien in Alien was built. Like there was that same sort of subtle, drawn out build up to, and then he comes crashing through the trees, and it was epic.
Yeah. Well, and that really speaks to the psychological phenomenon that it's more about the anticipation. Like when you see the monster, it's never as scary as the anticipation of seeing the monster.
But he compensates for that too by making it happen so fast when you do see it that you don't have time to react and think, well, he's not that scary because he's about to eat you.
Number 11, we've already talked about this one, but I didn't know that this was the movie that invented the PG-13 rating.
Did it really?
That's interesting.
Huh.
Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Walking across bugs and a bunch of Indian Kalima, pulling your heart out.
Yeah. Munich, 2005. This was really good too. We're into the part of the list where all of them will be really, really good.
Yeah. I mean, there's just like almost. I only see like one or two maybe that I even feel like talking about because they're just all so amazing.
This was Daniel Craig's first real big thing, wasn't it?
Oh, really? I never actually. This is one of the very few on this top 10 list that I haven't actually seen.
Oh, it's real good. Do yourself a favor and see this one. Wait, was it Daniel Craig? Corey, help me out. Daniel Craig. I thought Adrian Brody. I don't know. Whatever. 2012's Lincoln. Did you see this?
No, this is the other one.
Saw it in the theater. Daniel Day-Lewis is tremendous.
And I love Daniel Day-Lewis. There's nothing he can't do amazingly well.
The way he gets into those characters too, like he'll sit and do nothing for half a decade and then come out and blow you away with Lincoln
what was that one with Leonardo DiCaprio? Gangs of New York.
Gangs of New York.
Butcher Bill was amazing.
And still, everyone thinks of Last of the Mohicans.
It's just because his first like big breakout role, I think. Number 8, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, another Richard Dreyfuss film, 1977, Aliens.
Devil's Tower. Did you ever go to Devil's Tower?
What's the tone sound like?
I don't remember. I just remembered the Devil's Tower scene. Have you ever gone to Devil's Tower?
Mm-mm.
No, I drove by it a couple of times when I was wee. It's impressive. 2000. Okay.
You didn't see any aliens?
No, there were no aliens.
No spaceship.
I'm starting to disagree with this list a little bit. 2002's Minority Report should not be this far up.
No, shut up. This was a brilliant.
No, it was good. It was good. I don't think it's his 7th best movie.
I don't know. In terms of taking something that taking something that's as hard to make as a Philip K. Dick novel and making it as well as he made Minority Report
Yeah.
is really impressive.
Yeah.
Because P.K. Dick is about as hard to adapt as anything you could.
That's why most of the movies based on his work are nothing like his work.
Yeah.
But no, I agree that it's very good. I don't think it's his 7th best. I would.
It was dark. It was compelling. It was amusing.
Lincoln and
kind
Munich.
of funny in ways.
Lincoln and Munich are both better movies than Minority Report.
But those are dramas. This is a completely different kind of movie.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say that this was actually a better movie. I'm going to defend its place in the top 10 at least.
Yeah, okay. No, I'll buy it. What about War of the
I would
Worlds?
argue that the next one, though, this is where I'm going to have an issue. War of the Worlds was not that great of a movie.
Yeah. Well,
it was entertaining.
They admit in this paragraph that the ending was shite. But that's because the ending of the story is bad. It's the definition of a Deus Ex Machina that we lost the war's over, we're all going to die except this saves us.
I don't remember how it ends. I remember most of the movies, but I don't remember the end.
It's been 11 years. Can I spoil it? Probably.
Sure.
Our bacteria kills them all. Earth bacteria slays all the aliens, and they all die.
That's like an M. Night Shyamalan bad ending.
But that's the end of the story, so it's not like you can... If you're telling that story the way the plot was told by...
Here's the thing, though. If you're an advanced alien civilization, you're not that has done this before. You're not going to be like, oh shit, there's bacteria. We didn't know that there was such a thing as bacteria.
Well, yeah, but it was also written by H.G. Wells, so
1920s or whatever.
Yeah, so maybe that mentality explains the story a little bit, but it doesn't excuse the 2005
I feel like
movie.
when you remake something 90 years later or whatever, that you can tweak the ending a little bit. I don't know. Whatever.
Here we go.
Let's
Top
move on.
5. Saving Private Ryan, 1998.
Oh.
Hailed as one of the best war movies ever.
Yeah, maybe the best war movie ever.
It's got another one.
First scene. I mean, from the very first scene where you're watching footage that.
It's got a couple of those continuous shots in them that I love so much.
Yeah, and super dark and just beautiful and amazing.
Yeah. What about this one? Jaws, 1975.
Dun dun.
Indeed. We're gonna need a bigger boat. Everyone knows Jaws. 1993's Schindler's List.
All right, here's another one I have to admit I've never seen this one.
Really?
Yeah, and I know. Sometimes I just not in the mood to be depressed.
Yeah, it's one of those movies. Like I always go to Requiem for a Dream for this kind of movie that says you only need to see it once.
Yeah. Well, I tried to sit through Requiem for a Dream.
It's hard. No, it's definitely one of the best movies he's made, and it's the best of his serious movies. They say. I didn't like E.T. Did you like E.T.?
I haven't seen it since I was like 6.
Scared me when I was a kid. When I was little.
I can see that. Well, you're very easily scared.
I was.
So.
Maybe it's E.T.'s fault that I don't like horror movies.
A little brown alien.
It was actually it was that scene where all the white suited people go stomping through the house and quarantine off the alien. That spooked me.
That's the scare. I could definitely see as this child being scared. In fact, I think I was scared of that part too.
All right, now this is the big one. Number 1, do you buy it? The 1981's Raiders of the Lost Ark is Steven Spielberg.
This is without a doubt. This is right there next to my favorite movie of all. I mean,
yep.
This is why I've seen Raiders of the Lost Ark more than any other movie on ever.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. I mean, like I could give you, the only movies that I've seen as much as I've seen Raiders of the Lost Ark is probably Empire.
Yeah. I don't know. There was a point in my life where I watched Star Wars Episode 4 over and over again. Just every afternoon, and I flew my X-wing kitchen chair everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But That's
I mean, I pretty much grew up basing my decision making on what I thought Indiana Jones.
Would Indiana Jones do this? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's the answer. He's just making it up as he goes along.
Yeah.
You've actually probably heard me use that line several times.
Well, that's how we do this show, and that was an epic list. I'm glad we chose that one. That was good.
It was very long though.
We should
have flown through the early part of it. We got too bogged down.
You know what it
early
means,
on.
though? It means that you have to be quick with all the depressing news, which we're going to get to.
I wrote it all out.
As soon as I push the button, which is right here.
Why so serious?
So a little breaking news here. After 6 months on the run and a fierce gun battle that left 5 people dead, El Chapo Guzman was recaptured today. He was the one who tunneled out of prison through a shower and escaped riding on a motorcycle through a mile-long tunnel. This is the end of his second prison break for the infamous head of the Sinaloa cartel. He was discovered after a tip came in about some gunmen in a home in the coastal city of Los Mochis in his home state of Sinaloa. A lot of people... I think there was a lot of discussion over whether or not he would leave the country or not, or whether he would just go back to his home state where where he's king.
Right.
So I think I'd go back to where I'm king too, but then of course you're still in the country where you're extremely wanted.
Yeah.
You may have heard something about the new gun rules that the president had the audacity to put into place through his executive action.
He's so audacious.
He does tend to use his executive action a lot. Essentially doing away with loopholes in the gun laws that allow gun sellers to be not labeled as gun sellers. Have you ever been to a gun show?
No.
You ever one of those? They're actually a lot of fun. I really enjoyed them when I was younger. We used to have them come to my hometown once or twice a year, I think, and when I was a kid, and I enjoyed the hell out of them. They were pretty much a wet dream for a teenage boy, along with the guns, along with every kind of imaginable gun. There were all sorts of crazy things like nunchucks and samurai swords and dart guns that basically every angst-ridden teenage boy should not have, but really wanted, right?
Oh, yeah.
Of course, huh?
Oh, yes. No, I know that feeling.
On throwing stars, throwing knives, great stuff. And of course, you could also buy a gun there without the required background checks that you would have to get inside a store. Those guys and online sellers now are really the ones that will have things change for them. They will actually be considered gun sellers since they're selling guns.
Makes a little sense.
A lot of people are also giving him flack for the tears he made as he made the announcement about on Tuesday, saying he was faking it as he talked about being unable to get any new restrictions put in place following the mass shootings at Sandy Hook Elementary School that took place 5 years ago. 20 kids got shot, something like
Lots
that.
of them.
He said it was the worst day of his presidency and undoubtedly made worse for his impotence in being able to do anything about it. Imagine how frustrating it would be to be the president of the United States, literally the most powerful person in the world, and be unable to do anything about curbing gun violence in your country. That would be frustrating, I would think.
Yeah, no, your note here about how tears of frustration as well as sadness, that because really he hasn't got much done at all.
No,
with most of what he's tried to do.
Nothing. This is such a minor thing, and everybody's freaking out.
It's a slippery slope.
Yeah, they're gonna come to your house and take your guns. They're gonna come to you, idiot. You don't have a registry of everybody who buys a gun. And of course, the changes of this executive action wouldn't actually have stopped the vast majority of the mass shootings that have happened in recent years. One of the more powerful messages that came out of his announcement, that I thought at least, was where he labeled as a tired trope of gun lobbyists the "why bother trying" attitude. I reject that way of thinking, he said. I can't help but wonder how many would have been saved by these new rules. What?
How many would have to be saved by the new rules to make it worthwhile?
So yeah, I was getting philosophical here. How many would have to be saved by these new rules to make it worthwhile? And if your answer is more than one, then you're a dick and you need to go punch yourself in the crotch.
Right in the crotch.
Right in the junk. Spurred on by Obama's announcement, Washington Governor Jay Inslee here in Washington, or there in Washington since I'm in Idaho, announced some new executive actions of his own on guns this week aimed at improving the efficacy of background checks with information sharing between law enforcement and other government agencies. Yeah, fix my spelling after I've already passed the word up. That helps, Sean. Thank you very much.
It helps my brain.
So, new information sharing between government agencies and law enforcement to help improve the efficacy and the research, basically, which we can't do any research on a federal level because apparently that would be impeding our Second Amendment rights in some way. Somehow the NRA figured out how that works somehow. Let's see. There are also going to be some new prevention campaigns to help curb the deaths due to suicides, which is actually the number one way people die from guns.
That goes a little bit towards the mental health issue, doesn't it?
Exactly.
I think so.
North Korea supposedly set off a hydrogen bomb earlier this week, or at least that's what they claim. Nobody seems to really take them at their word on that. Imagine that. Apparently, they're celebrating the event. However, the massive state-led celebrations that have people dancing in the streets in Pyongyang. Because what says good time like a nuclear holocaust, right? The rest of the world has met the news with condemnation in the form of increased sanctions yet again, and doubt over whether or not it was actually a nuclear bomb or just a big batch of firecrackers. South Korea, on the other hand, has responded by pumping K-pop across the border, because that's something they do. Apparently.
I wish I understood that joke.
What?
I don't know what K-pop is.
It's some kind of obnoxious teen pop music, Korean pop music.
Oh, good.
That it's just meant to piss off the North Koreans. That's the whole point of it.
That's awesome.
That's how the South Koreans deal with it. I thought we talked about that before. This has been something they've been doing for years.
As soon as this show's over, I'm going to Google and K-pop and build a collection of South Korean.
Actually, we should have grabbed. You want to go grab some K-pop?
South Korean revenge
find some K-pop
music.
while I finish up our news here. There's also some protesters that you might have heard about. These guys took over the wildlife refuge near remote Oregon town, Burns, Oregon, several hundred miles from anywhere. Social media has labeled the group as Al-Qaeda and Vanilla ISIS, wondering why a bunch of essentially terrorists with guns are fine as long as they're white guys. It's a good question, but the answer is because they've done this before, and the feds would prefer to avoid bloodshed. The Bundy clan, Clive Bundy, was the guy who led the Nevada standoff last year in 2014 over grazing rights. He was in hock for about over $1 million in grazing rights for grazing his cattle. But basically, this is just a standoff over states' rights versus federal government rights. In Nevada, it made a little more sense, I think, because the federal government actually owns more than 80% of Nevada, which seems crazy to me. I think in Oregon it's only like 52%. So, but that's really what this boils down to. It's a frustration by this group over the amount of land that the federal government owns, and they feel like it all needs to be turned over to local authorities. But they don't. The federal authorities don't want to. The law enforcement, they don't want to cause bloodshed, they're trying to handle it gently. They were able to do that last time, even though they technically kind of lost because they didn't arrest the guy. They didn't take any of the. That whole thing started because they were going to take away his cattle to make up for the grazing rights that he owed, and they just, as far as I could tell, I kept trying to look for some way in which they still stuck it to him, and they. Apparently nothing happened. So that just spurred them on and made them think they could get away with this. So I'm hoping they turn off their power and water and stop letting people go to and from and bring them supplies, because that would probably end this.
Probably fairly quickly, I think.
Yeah, you get hungry enough.
Well, I don't know. Maybe they're all survivalists. Maybe they can go out and hunt and kill and collect all their food. If
they set up a perimeter and they don't let people come and go, of course, that would also possibly lead to bloodshed. So, it's hard to blame them for not wanting people to die. Because, you look at Ruby Ridge up here in Idaho. It happened, I don't know, mid-90s or something. A couple federal agents got shot in Waco, Texas. These things have a tendency to lead to
Escalate.
people dying.
Yeah.
So
They escalate quickly. Dude, I thought you were making a joke about South Korea just pumping music across the border.
no, they're deadly serious.
South Korea punishes North Korea with K-pop following possible nuclear test. Like, they actually did this with loudspeakers. What do we got here?
About 3 months ago, my millionaire boss holed up
This
at an
is an
isolated
ad.
ranch in the South American mountains.
Well, screw that.
Yeah, that wasn't nearly as much fun as you made me think it was going to be. But
Well, I thought it was going to be a lot more fun,
they
too.
just have a bunch of speakers along the border. And, I don't know. Better than nothing, I
That's
guess.
so ridiculous and petty. But if your best response to all of the North Korean bluster is just to say, well, we have awful music. We're going to punish you with it. That
Basically, Korean teen pop music.
yeah, it sort of makes me feel like South Korea doesn't really take North Korea seriously.
Well, nobody really takes North Korea seriously.
Not anymore.
Until they get a nuclear bomb. And from what I can tell, they don't have the missiles and the technology to like get ICBMs, intercontinental missiles, and stuff like that
Right.
with nuclear warheads yet.
They're working on it.
But they're definitely working on it because obviously they want to be the subject of everybody in the world's wrath. That's a brilliant idea. Governor Greg Abbott of Texas has called for a convention of states to try to take back some of the power. This is kind of linked to the Oregon standoff story a little bit. He's called for a convention of states to try to take back some of the power from the federal government, which is what he calls run amok, and propose constitutional amendments, 9 of them, I believe, to try to take back some power. I think this happened today. So he's trying to get a bunch of states together to meet up for a convention of states to try to change the Constitution and lessen the influence of the federal government. And finally, thanks for everybody's patience. Just a quick mention, the first full week of trading for the market in 2016 was the worst since 2011 due to more market turmoil in China, where stocks are tumbling and the price of oil worldwide has dropped to its lowest point since 2004. So that actually means it's a really good time for a road trip, Sean, and also maybe a good time to buy some stocks, at least once you settle down a bit. That makes more sense if you know that I'm trying to convince Sean to drive out here next week.
Dude, I'm telling you, if I can get my mother-in-law to take the baby, I'll be out there in a heartbeat. I swear to God. True story. She's sick as a dog right now. She was gonna come down tomorrow because we have a baby shower to go to, and she was gonna take the baby and just ill as ill can be. So not
she'll
really sure.
owe you next week because she bailed on this one.
Maybe I'm gonna work on her. See what I can
Well,
do.
point that out to her.
Well, hey,
All right.
that was intense. You know what? We haven't had news thus far in the new year, so it's we got to get through it. Got some nonsense though too that I'm really excited about.
You're a daydreamer, a sass-mouth, and not infrequently a bit of a giggle puss.
So, back in my day, when I was having babies,
All those years ago.
all that year ago, when you want your unborn child to listen to music, you just would hold the speaker or the headphones directly up to the pregnant belly, and that was good enough.
Take your earbuds and just press them against the wife's.
Just like that.
Is that how you did it for Audrey?
Yeah, I did that, or I would just have music on my iPhone and just hold the iPhone speaker directly to the belly. They can hear it just fine. There's no need for this. Assuming you have a vagina, the last thing you were thinking about when you were thinking about getting in there was the latest Justin Bieber track. But apparently these are speakers that let your vagina play music to your baby.
Or just if you want to play music for your vagina.
Vaginas don't have ears.
I'm just saying maybe you're limiting yourself here by making it just for women who are pregnant. Maybe it should just be for all women, period, when their vaginas want to listen to music.
Well, they're calling it the baby pod, so I think it's directly targeted at
No, I'm saying I think that might be
self-limiting. Well, it's designed to deliver music directly to a developing fetus, but unlike other baby-centric speakers out there, this one goes deeper, literally, inside the mother's vagina. A number of studies throughout the years have examined the effect of prenatal music on babies' cognitive development, and some suggest that there is no direct effect on the baby, but rather just for the mother. And screw that, because baby comes out dancing because I played Irish music for her while she was in there.
Your baby came out of the womb knowing how to twerk already.
Look, the babies don't know how to dance. They just kind of go like this.
Keep telling yourself it's because she doesn't know how to dance.
No, it was It was sort of sad last Sunday because she danced for the last time this year during her first NFL season to the Sunday Night Football theme song.
Aww.
I know, the last time of her first year. So I'm a little teary-eyed because Carrie Underwood is teaching her to twerk. Yeah, so you can totally buy wireless speakers for your vagina if you want to do that. Or, instead, you could go buy a hoverboard.
Wait, I just want to mention Beyonce. Didn't they announce Beyonce is going to be the halftime act for Super Bowl?
Beyonce and Coldplay with an expected appearance from Bruno Mars, because nothing says football like Bruno Mars.
Hey, I tell you what, his show was it last year or the year before? I can't remember, but that was a good.
It wasn't the worst.
I enjoy.
It wasn't the worst halftime show ever.
I enjoy Bruno Mars. I'm sorry.
That's all right. You're allowed.
And Audrey will enjoy dancing.
I'm sure she will. Catholic priest apologizes for riding a hoverboard during a church service. First of all, you should never apologize for using a hoverboard ever,
because you shouldn't ever be on one.
No, dude, hoverboards are awesome. Even Bat Dad has a hoverboard. A Catholic priest who rode a hoverboard scooter during Christmas Eve Mass in the Philippines has fallen afoul of his diocese, which suspended him. Father Albert San Jose, for attempting to get the attention of the people in a personal manner. He has apologized for the incident, which was recorded on video.
You know, here's the thing. He could have done this at any time leading up to the Christmas, but to do it on Christmas Eve, that's effed up.
So maybe the timing is suspect, but
yeah, like if he'd have done it during any mass prior or after this, it would have been fine. I'm assuming it was to make a point about the commercialism of Christmas.
Do you think? Because I sort of feel like maybe he was making him analogous to walking on water.
Sure, why not? But either way, I think he could have chosen a better time to do it than Christmas Eve Mass.
And also, the diocese statement focused on requirements for celebrating Mass, not the potential safety hazards posed by hoverboard scooters that recently led major U.S. airlines to ban the devices, so you can't even use them.
Not just U.S. airlines, a whole bunch of college campuses across the country
really?
banned them on campus.
Oh,
yeah,
dude, no.
From what I can tell, WSU and UI here where I am have not, but a whole bunch. I know LSU was one of them that stuck out for me, since that's where I'm from, and several other around the country have banned them because they have a tendency to catch on fire, and so they don't want them in dorm rooms and stuff like that.
They catch on fire.
You didn't know that?
No.
They'll just like spontaneously catch on fire.
Oh, I did see that video. You know what? Yeah. That just makes them more awesome. People who use them are now daredevils.
Right. Plus, Mike Tyson might fall off and land on. Have you seen that video?
No, I haven't seen that one.
There's a video of him riding around in his living room and just like falls off.
Well, also, this going all the way back to December 28th, Minnesota cops are searching for the man who pointed a handgun at an adult video store employee during a dispute over a malfunctioning penis pump.
Because it's not any bigger.
It doesn't work. According to the police report, the suspect approached a clerk at Viva Video, pictured below in this reputable-looking corner of St. Paul, Minnesota. The customer claimed the item, which police identified as a penis pump, did not work as advertised, probably because his penis was not made larger. However, the store clerk declined to return the return request because the pump had been used.
Just in case you're listening, sir, I want you to understand that the guy who works at the adult video store is not responsible for the size of your penis. It's not his fault.
But I think the size of his penis was probably responsible for all this misplaced rage.
Absolutely.
After being rebuffed by the employee, the suspect pulled out a black handgun and threatened the clerk before fleeing the business without a new penis pump.
If you're gonna threaten them over it, you could at least just steal. I mean, you basically committed a felony already, so you may as well just grab a new penis pump.
Right. Well, because then we can add theft to the felony aggravated assault that they will charge him with if they catch him. My goodness.
He's also mad because he couldn't find any of the shit. Now I can't think of it. What's the name of the herbal supplement that's supposed to help you grow your junk? The one that I've seen.
There's one
gazillion commercials for over the years.
Tell me what it is and how to acquire it.
Right. Yeah, those guys screwed me over too, but I can't find them.
You know what? This is it's time for entertainment news, because we're entertaining, and I've lost the button.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Entertainment is brought to you by the Force. No longer just microscopic bloodworms that give you superpowers. Thank God! No reference to midichlorians. Spoiler number 1, no reference to midichlorians in the new movie, because screw that.
Yeah. It didn't bother with any of that crap.
I'm trying to get Corey on the line and not doing it right. Hang on, Corey. Hang on. Oh wait, no, I don't want to do that. Shit.
This is some entertainment.
Hey, Bill, why don't you talk about Star Wars and the Hollywood Reporter thing that I've got going on?
In case you haven't heard yet, the new Star Wars movie, it's called The Force Awakens. It's about Star Wars, and if you don't know what that is, then you should turn this off right now. But it's made a little bit of money. This is from the 6th, which was 2 days ago, so Wednesday. It's already a long way from matching the $2.78 billion earned by J.J. Abrams' record-shattering blockbuster movie achieved the historic milestone Wednesday after only 20 days of release. That's I'm assuming. God, I wish I could navigate this fucking page. All right, box office. Star Wars: Force Awakens tops Avatar to become #1 film of all time in North America. Now I have to scroll back down, which is going to take another 5 minutes. You might have Corey on the line by that point.
It's not letting me add him to the call. It won't let me add you to the call, Corey.
Demerit number 2.
God damn it.
So I'm trying to. This doesn't make sense. Globally, Force Awakens is a long way from. Okay, so that must be the
domestic record that it broke. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it's even been released in China yet, which you gotta assume is gonna be a big bump. And see, on Wednesday, Disney Lucasfilm mega blockbuster overtook the $760 million mark earned by Avatar Force Awakens, which grossed $6.2 million for the day. For a domestic total. This is the shittiestly written.
It doesn't matter. The point is that the box office has been broken. J.J. Abrams' record-shattering blockbuster beat Avatar in only 20 days on the domestic box office. It has a long way to go for international, but we don't care about that. The domestic record is now in the hands of the nerds again, and I'm very excited about that.
And Avatar was in the theater for 7 months before it hit that record-setting mark. Force Awakens has been in the theaters now for, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks? Something like that.
Yeah, December 18th, wasn't it? So 21 days.
Weeks or so.
21 days now. It's exciting.
So it's pretty good. Pretty good.
Pretty good.
So far.
You there, Corey? Are you there? Why aren't you there? God damn it.
Damn it, Corey. We know this is your fault. We're going to go ahead and blame you instead of Sean. You want to just go in after the show and cut some of this out?
Yeah. In fact, what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to go ahead and hit pause. I'm going to hang up on you, and I'm going to start the call again. You know what happened? It's because rather than calling me directly, you called me using last week's. Like you called back using last week's.
Oh, so it's my fault.
No. It's just how it happened. So in the future, we'll just
kiss my ass.
We'll start a new call in the future.
Do it right
so
next
that
time.
you're gonna do it right on your face. I'm gonna hang up on both of you bitches and try again. Hey. All right. Note to self. Note to self.
Hello.
We're gonna do this differently next time. Not sure what screwed up, and we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna unpause it, and we're going to. You know what I think we're gonna do? We're gonna start. We're gonna start. We're gonna start by Corey saying hello. Does that sound good?
Hi.
Well, I'm gonna tell you.
Hello, Corey.
Hello.
He fed you the line.
We're gonna start by Corey saying hello in 3, 2, 1.
Hello.
Oh, it worked. It worked.
Hi,
Holy
Corey.
Christ.
How are you?
Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the new year. You saw the Star Wars 2. We had a few conversations about it.
It's all right. That's Star Wars.
It's all right. Can you give me a little more volume on you? A little bit. Turn it up a little bit. Just a little bit. Awesome. So what do you think? If you were ranking the 4 Star Wars movies that matter, where would you put this one as far as quality?
If you can get rid of the nostalgia aspect of it.
I don't know if you can get rid of the nostalgia of it, though.
I would put it after. I'd put it before Return of the Jedi.
So you're saying this is the 3rd best Star Wars movie, and Return of the Jedi is the 4th best?
Yes, I think so.
You know, I buy it.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Without getting too spoilery about any of the important things that happen. What were your impressions about the franchise and what we can expect in the future, and just how freaking awesome it is that Star Wars doesn't suck anymore?
I'm very interested to see Episode 8. if it follows, I'm fine with the first one, Episode 7, following A New Hope as closely as it did. If now, since it's out of the way, we can branch off into new territory that's unfamiliar. But if Episode 8 is just now a rehash of Empire Strikes Back, then then there's no creativity, there's nothing new, and it feels stale.
Yeah. That is the major criticism, is that it didn't just it's that it was ripping off Episode 4. So that I think that's absolutely right.
Didn't Return of the Jedi also rip off? Because you had like a Death Star in that one too.
Well, and A New Hope was ripping off the Odyssey. So I'm not
A
really.
New Hope was doing the hero's journey, which is part of
the Odyssey was,
bazillion different stories since the dawn of mankind.
Yeah, but the Odyssey, with Homer and Odysseus and all that stuff.
Or Gilgamesh. Or
I know.
A million other.
No, it's Star Wars has started from its inception. Star Wars was a retelling of the heroic epic in space. So no one can really bitch too hard about it ripping itself off, I don't think.
It's disappointing that it's like, why is there another Death Star? Because something has to blow up at the end. It's not just enough to have a family dynamic or any of the interpersonal relationships.
There has to be a super weapon.
Battle.
Yeah, it's the Death Star on steroids, though.
Yeah.
It's not just Death Star.
Wasn't the entire First Order on that planet? So is there just no army now?
No, they all escaped.
Okay.
No
one was harmed.
No one was harmed in the explosion of this thing. At least no one important. Supreme Leader Snoke, good or bad? I don't mean like his alignment. I mean, is he shitty or is he awesome?
He stands out in this film as CGI, and that's not good because all the rest of the CGI in the film is implemented so well.
Well, but he's a
Everything's blended.
a giant holographic projection
That looks like a cartoon.
Yeah, I don't know. He was the least impressive visual element of, and I don't know why necessarily. If they just ran out of money when they were trying to pay Andy Serkis for a good performance.
Somehow doubt Disney ran out of money for any aspect of this movie. There was 0 points in this movie where anybody was like, hold on. Let me check my wallet here and see if we got
do we have enough money for more mocap on Andy Serkis?
Oh, I'm sorry. This is where I'm going to have to put my foot down. It's on Snopes, or whatever his name is.
It depends on how the actual character model looks.
Yeah.
If the actual character comes on screen and it looks like a horrible CGI abomination, then it's just disappointing in a film that implements it so incredibly well.
Yeah, I buy it. I'm going to withhold judgment on the character until Supreme Leader Kim Jong Snoke.
I've got a quick question. Keeping spoilers to a minimum, as we've been trying to do. Single favorite moment of the film.
The part in North Ireland. And,
what?
Yeah, right there with the last 5 minutes.
No, I have a lot of questions about that.
Which we will save for
you and everybody else.
Yeah.
I want to know why they had to bring him back for reshoots on that shit.
For me, I think the reveal of the Falcon was the best. Just because it wasn't in your face. It was just like a pan over. Here it is. It's a reveal that was unexpected. For everything else, you're like, okay, here's where this character is going to enter. Here's where we find Leia. But that one was unexpected. It was clever and it was fun, and that is the most exciting moment.
Yeah,
I think my favorite point was where it was a comedic moment. It was a line delivered where somebody, I don't want to spoil the line, but somebody said that's not how something works, and that just brought a huge smile to my face. I mean, it's a level. There's a level of humor throughout this film that doesn't exist in any of the other Star Wars films. It reminded me. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say the first like holy shit moment for me is when Kylo Ren stops the blaster midair.
Yes, that was super cool.
Can we talk for just a second about the opening scene? You know what? We're gonna forget half of what we're talking about here in the rest of the show. But the opening scene of this movie was so much better than anything the prequels gave us, and I was so glad they brought it back to form too, because when all the prequels and all their politics and all the nonsense that doesn't matter and that no one cares about was so much less impactful than the opening sequences to like New Hope, where you've got the characters that matter engaged in a thing that you don't really understand, so you're coming at it from...
You're just like thrown into this
but it's
activity.
But this was dynamic and engaging and completely awesome visually. Mm-hmm. And do you think we're going to get more of that pilot? The pilot that we're, the pilot?
Absolutely.
Is he the Wedge Antilles of this series, do you think?
I could see he kind of had good chemistry with Rey. I could kind of see maybe them being a little flirty because he's kind of like the rogue Han Solo type. She's the new Luke Skywalker, if you want to say that. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. It just.
It'll be interesting to watch the dynamics of it.
Fun.
He is a lot of fun. It'll be very fascinating to watch the dynamics and character relationships develop through a trilogy. I'm so excited about that. I'm so excited that characters freaking matter again. There's so many things to be excited about that all the little bits that are like that you can nitpick and hate on just don't matter to me at all. Because I know it's not a flawless movie. It's the farthest thing in the world from being a perfect movie, but the little things don't matter even a little bit to me.
that's why I think like the 95-96% on Rotten Tomatoes is justifiable. It's not saying like, oh, this movie is as good as say like Lincoln, that's probably up in the 90% as well. It's saying you can find as much enjoyment out of this film as other 90% films. The good qualities about it outweighs the bad, and overall, people like it regardless.
Very good.
So, I don't think like the ratings and the percentages means that it is a better movie than movies with a lower percentage. It's just that you can forgive it for those flaws.
That's a good way to look at it, I think. But that's enough Star Wars because we don't have time. Corey has a list of things that he wants our opinions about.
Yes.
More or less, you brought this to my attention a couple of days ago. There's more comic book movies coming to the big screen this year than ever before. And
in a year filled with a ton of just great movies coming out.
So on a level of what? How excited we are about them, or maybe we can make a list of the 5 we actually care about.
Yeah, well, let me just run through them and their release dates, and then we can proceed about which ones we're most excited for. So, coming out February 12th, we have Deadpool. Followed by...
that's my number 1 right there. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that right now.
Followed by Batman vs. Superman on March 25th. We have Captain America Civil War on May 6th. And then X-Men Apocalypse on May 27th. Suicide Squad on August 5th, Gambit October 7th, and Doctor Strange November 4th.
I didn't realize we were getting Gambit this year.
Do we
That's
know who?
Crazy. I've seen 0 about Gambit so far.
And you're telling me that it's still Tatum Channing?
Still, Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum. God damn
Magic
that name.
Mike.
Yeah, Magic Mike. Magic Mike is going to be Gambit. I don't know. I'm excited about Deadpool. Not the most though. I think I'm really interested to see what Civil War gives us. Like more than any of the DC stuff.
Well, there's a weird thing coming with Civil War. It's like you have the 13 Marvel films before it, which prove that there can be quality, especially in Winter Soldier, and this is kind of follow up to that. It's like there can be that serious quality to it. But then there's also that like opposite effect where it's like, oh, we've had 13 of these. This is the first Deadpool film and the only film of its kind.
And it's gonna have a snarky, sarcastic, humorous attitude throughout the entire thing that is gonna be completely like any other superhero. I mean, the only thing for some reason, the only thing that's coming to mind is, what was that Will Smith film where he played a
Hancock?
Hancock. For some reason, that's coming to mind, but that's a bad example. My point being, though, that it's a different take, a completely different take on a superhero movie, and there's a core group of Deadpool super fans out there, and I'm one of them. So.
No, I don't get me wrong. I'm extremely excited about it, and I think probably number 2 if I were making a list. But I'm just such a fanboy that I can't even help myself with the Civil War thing. Like,
I will say that I think that, and I'm a little disappointed that I feel this way, but I think Apocalypse might be the last on my list.
Really?
Just because, yeah, I mean, like look at the last one. The last one had one scene that was really good, and the rest of it was all right. But
I don't know. I think I walked away from what the hell was it? The last Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
I think I walked away from that one liking it a little bit more than you did.
I liked it.
I didn't dislike it. I'm just saying that there was one scene in there that really blew me away and stole the show and made the whole movie a million times better than it was.
Was that the scene from Portal 2?
Probably.
I like Days of Future Past because that one feels the most adult. The stakes are adult, where it's just like we have people with powers that if they're not given the right opportunities, they could be very destructive. Instead of here's a million shit flying at our heroes and they have to punch them to death.
Yeah, I one of the favorite things about Days of Future Past was the whole the passing of the torch too. We're finally getting away from old ass Magneto and old ass freaking Captain Picard, Professor X, and getting on to the good stuff with younger people who can actually act these roles. Because I don't have faith that Patrick Stewart can be Professor X anymore, because he's just
Yeah,
he's
no,
too
obviously
damn old.
It's time for the torch to be passed.
And
for
I
sure.
think Age of Apocalypse is the perfect setting for them to take it and run with it. It was probably it was one of the top 3 X-Men sagas in the comics, and I think they can really do good stuff with it.
Don't get me wrong. I'm hoping I eat those words. I mean, I really do hope it's because I've always enjoyed the Apocalypse storyline in the comics, but I kind of feel like I'm just not excited about the X-Men movies that.
You're more excited about Suicide Squad or Batman v Superman than you are about Age of Apocalypse?
Yeah, I am.
But
really?
Did you guys see this?
Ooh, what's that? What's that? Let me make you bigger.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, this the Doctor Strange. Oh,
Yeah.
Is that actual pictures?
Oh, yep.
Nice.
There's a whole article on the film.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think he'll be an amazing Doctor Strange, and I'm excited about the build up towards. Obviously, we need him to be part of the lexicon before we can have the Infinity Wars, right?
He looks
Yeah.
just like a comic. Like the comic panel is alive
Yeah.
through his image.
That's really exciting. No, I'm pretty pumped about Doctor Strange. I'm not really up on his mythos, but just the fact that we're getting someone
It's
like
getting
Benedict
weird.
Cumberbatch to do.
It needs to get weird in order to work. It's gonna have to get really weird.
Yeah.
That's why, like, this is the part of Marvel that I like. I don't like America Man in a suit and a god of thunder with no personality. I want a magician doing magic shit, going into alternate realms.
And talking with a caterpillar that smokes a bong or something. Isn't that his like mentor or something? It's like this caterpillar dude who smokes a hookah.
There's very interesting.
Doctor Strange in Wonderland, dude. No, it's a great time to be a nerd. I swear to God. 20 years ago, no one would have even thought that we were right. Right?
I saw it coming.
Did you? Well, you're old as crap already, though, because you had laser discs. But
I did.
It's a great time to be a nerd. Thank God. Do you want to... You know what? No one cares about Teen Titans, so forget Teen Titans. Do you want to do top 5?
I do. Can I just make one notable thing about the Teen Titans?
Teen Titans suck.
Before you scoff it off.
Shut up, Sean.
Yes, go ahead.
The only reason why I find this notable is because a month ago, Warner Brothers Pictures announced that the Cyborg solo film, would turn into a Teen Titans film. And now, this week, we're hearing that TNT has canceled their Teen Titans TV series. So
What?
I don't know if there's a correlation with those two projects, but the Cyborg movie got turned into Teen Titans, and now the Teen Titans TV series is no longer happening.
That's too
find
bad,
that
I
curious.
guess.
So does that mean that they're moving? They're just planning on doing it all in the theaters, or
Maybe they just don't trust TNT to handle it properly.
I did.
maybe, or well, here's another possibility. We've got BVS, Batman vs Superman. We've got the Suicide Squad. What if they're trying to fold them in and create create something analogous to what's going on in Marvel, where they can build to something huge like the Infinity War, where I know that they have, Crisis on Infinity Worlds and all sorts of other DC series that led up to a huge thing that played across each comic. Is it possible that they've decided, if we're going to get on this train and start towards that direction, that we need to pull this out of television and get it into theaters so we can do that?
DC's kind of taking the approach where it's like, we'll do the team movie and then we'll splinter out into separate movies. And so Batman vs Superman is technically a team movie because you have Aquaman's going to appear in it, The Flash is going to appear in it, Wonder Woman's appearing in it.
The Flash is going to be in Batman v Superman?
He's going to make an appearance.
Is he going to be the stupid TV version of The Flash?
No, that the TV DC universe is completely separate.
So they're not even trying to bridge those gaps at all.
Nope. But if they
That's
wanted
for the best.
to,
That it is. No, definitely.
if they wanted to, Infinite Earths is a real easy way to explain it.
There you go.
Easy way for comic book fans to
Right.
wrap their heads around it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that wasn't as miserable as I expected it to be about Teen Titans.
Why do you hate Teen Titans?
I don't know. I just
They're
I
basically
don't
the new
hate it.
mutants of the
I know,
the X Force of the DC world.
I don't remember being that into X Force either.
Well, it's because you suck.
Yeah, whatever. It's time for top 5. We haven't done this in a while because there hasn't been anything decent to talk about. That is not the case anymore because in its third week on the chart, grossed $90.2 million for a total gross of $742.2 million. Still at number 1, Star Wars: The Force Awakens. I don't think we need
93 and 90%
Nice.
critics and users.
Good. We still
It's getting a little more reasonable though.
It's no longer the best movie ever made.
Yeah, it's not a 94 or 96 or whatever where it was for a while at the beginning, which is
How long before
honest,
it breaks?
to be
How long before it makes more money internationally than any movie ever?
I'm not sure it will. Okay, think about this. The top grossing film ever in China, which is the last market for Star Wars to open in, the highest grossing film ever in China is $300 million. Star Wars is still $1 billion under Avatar.
Well, yeah, but the Avatar was in theaters for like 7 months. Like I bet I still get back to see it at some point.
I'm just saying, for Star Wars to beat, they're counting on China for it to be the international box office. It would have to make over $1 billion in China alone.
The question is whether or not Star Wars has any real hook in China, and I have no idea whether that's the case.
Isn't it actually though whether or not it's got the staying power? Because all over Europe and all these places where it'll continue to chug away and make money for the next couple of months at least. Right?
Well, yeah, but China is the biggest single market in the world.
What's also interesting is if you look at the trajectory of Avatar, just domestically, is from week to week, it would go up. Star Wars has been dropping 40% every week that it's been in theaters.
And yet it's still making $60 million more than the second best, which is Daddy's Home. Tell me about this movie.
31 and 60% critics and users. Will Ferrell, Mark Wahlberg, and a hilarious romp about something to do with Will Ferrell being the stepdad to some kids that were actually came from Wahlberg's sperm or something.
I like your synopsis much better than probably what
the actual synopsis.
The actual synopsis is. It's made 93.8 in 2 weeks. That's a huge drop. To 29.2. Wow.
Well, and probably unsurprising to pretty much anybody who's been paying attention. The next one I'm actually really excited about.
In its second week on the chart, made 15.7 for a total of 29 million. The Hateful Eight.
This is the Quentin Tarantino, Samuel L. Jackson, Kurt Russell Western film, 75% and 79%. I love Quentin Tarantino, so I will definitely be seeing this. Am I supposed to give a synopsis?
It's a Western starring with Samuel L. Jackson and Quentin Tarantino directs. I think everyone can fill in the gaps. In its third week on the chart, it made 12.7 million for a total of 62.8. Something called Sisters.
Something called Sisters?
Well, no,
Fuck
just
you, dude.
What is this?
Are you not a fan of Tina Fey or Amy Poehler?
I like them fine. I like Amy Poehler's work on Parks and Rec.
Parks and Rec.
Yes.
Have you ever seen there's a show called Saturday Night Live?
Yeah, I'm
They were
familiar
both
with
kind of
I'm familiar
mental
with their
institutes.
work on Saturday Night
I'm a
Live
big
as well.
30 Rock fan too. I love that show. I feel like it never got. I think so many people dislike Alec Baldwin. That,
It's
they
because
didn't
he's
give that
mean.
show the chance that they should have because he was amazing. You may not like Alec Baldwin's politics or personal tweets about his daughter or whatever, but he was an amazing. He was an amazing actor. Actually, his Glenn Ross speech is one of the greatest scenes of all time. So anyway, 60 and 64% for Sisters.
I think I would like
I've
to
actually
see.
seen it. It was pretty.
I think I would like to see Sisters swap places with Daddy's Home.
Yes, it definitely deserves to be above Daddy's Home.
And finally, number 5 in its third week on the chart made $12 million more than it ever should for a total of 67.6. Alvin and the Damn Chipmunks, the Road Chip.
The Road Chip.
The Road Chip.
17 and 57%.
Really? That is bad.
Got Justin Long and Matthew Gray Gubler. Whoever the fuck that is.
Matthew Gray Gubler. He's on that Criminal Minds.
Oh, he's that guy in that stupid Alvin and the Chipmunk.
Hopefully he'll be remembered for his
Nobody
work
will
on
ever
Criminal
see.
Minds, which was less awful than Alvin and the Chipmunks. Hey, that's it for top 5. Now it's time for this.
I used to be an adventurer like you.
I still need music for this. I'm going to use this. Oculus is coming. For real. They've been saying this for a long time, and now it's
I'll believe it when it's on my
now
head.
it's happening. Well, it's a pre-order shipping dates slip until June of 2016. So they wanted to do it earlier, but June of 2016. It's also got a price point, $600 before shipping.
That's too much.
That's too damn much for VR. That doesn't probably work very well.
Yeah.
Now that Oculus Rift is finally on sale via pre-orders, the reality behind virtual reality has suddenly hit home. It's going to be damned expensive. So it's going to start shipping from late March. $600 before shipping. Rift won't be for everyone, probably because it'll make you sick. But if you backed Oculus Rift when it started on Kickstarter 4 years ago, you'll receive the finished version free of charge, which is nice. But that means you had to pay $600 to back it in the first place, probably, I think.
Hey, Alpha.com, maybe you could make your page not fucking jump around constantly so I could actually read it. That would be wonderful.
The point, though, is that
Right.
VR's here. Almost.
Yeah. Okay. Well, until, here's the thing, though. Until you figure out all these little details, like, all right, I'm not really interested in VR until I can move around seamlessly, until I've got a suit or some sort of, and I think, I don't know, did you get it in there? The sonic tactile sensation that'll work with VR. And basically, until it's truly an immersive experience, I'm really not that interested.
Well, how does it really need to be so immersive that you feel stuff tingling on your crotch when you brush against a tree? I mean,
if it's going to be $600 for the headset, then it needs to be pretty like. It's just, I guess what I'm saying is it's not all that. It's getting a lot more hype, I think, than it actually deserves. I mean, I'm excited about it, and I can't wait till it's good enough to make it worth the $600. But
well, I'll tell you what, I don't give two craps about the Oculus Rift as a product. I give many craps about what it means as far as making virtual reality a consumer thing that people can actually buy, that is going to generate actual competition in sales to make the next better thing. Yeah. That's what I'm excited about.
As a player of first-person shooters, I gotta say it would be nice to be able to turn my head and see what's to the left of me instead of having to like turn the whole thing and turn back. I just quick glance to the left so I can see what's over there. That would be nice, as long as I can do it without throwing up.
Yeah, well, that is also the thing. They have to make it agree with your eyeballs.
This is interesting to me for the pure reason that Sony a couple of months ago were talking about their VR, and they said, we're going to price it like a console, which means, okay, is that $400? What does that mean? Oculus coming out and saying, hey, ours is $600. Now if Sony prices theirs at $400, that doesn't seem so bad comparatively. Where $400 by itself, that's insanity. But if you compare it to the $600 Oculus, like, oh, okay, well, I can get one that can sync up with my PS4, and it's $200 cheaper. And I think that's what Sony's been doing really well versus like Microsoft. Is their console came out $100 cheaper than the Xbox One, and they've been outselling Xbox One since launch.
Right.
So I think Oculus announcing this kind of puts Sony in the position to kind of dominate the VR tracking.
It puts them in control too. Like to come out right now and say this is the pre-order price and this is what you'll get. It puts the ball squarely in Sony's court. Then if they're the next ones doing it, and they are the next ones, right? Like
it's
they're the next closest,
like, big anticipated one.
Right.
I was just looking. This kind of sparked a little thing in my brain, reminding me about Ready Player One, which is coming out in 2017. Is it Ernie Clines? Ernie Clines is 27. Ready Player One. I think it's Spielberg's one doing it.
Yeah, he is.
So that'll go along with our list earlier. But Ready Player One is about a storyline that involves a sort of a future where people are really into virtual reality and that whole world. And I'm seeing that Ben Mendelsohn, who, Sean, remember when I was telling you need to watch Bloodline? There's a character in Bloodline. He's going to play the bad guy in it. They just announced that the other day. So anyway, I think 2017 when Ready Player One comes out and whatever's on the market at that point will get a big boost from that. So. And I think it'll probably drive the interest into the industry and into that into VR tech in general. I think it's good.
Nice.
Good timing.
That is. Well, that's a whole nother year away, too. You said January 2017. Because we'll already have
December 2017 is the estimated release date.
So Oculus will have been out for a year and a half. Are there any notions about when Sony's going to get theirs off the shelf?
I think they're hoping for this year. There has not been a release date announced. I think at E3 they'll probably do a price announcement and a release date.
Nice.
And hopefully some games.
Nice, very cool.
I think whoever can get a studio, like a big name studio behind it first, whoever can say, hey, we have Call of Duty or we have one of these big franchises on our Oculus, will be the perceived champions of the VR race.
Well, this is also just the beginning too. Like this is for the next decade, we're going to be arguing about whose VR is better.
Right. Yeah, like the motion controls.
Right. Which thankfully have gone the way of freaking extinction. No one cares about motion controls anymore. Now, like that was the thing for like 2 years. And then immediately moved on to virtual reality. What's going to be the next thing?
Oh,
I'll tell you what the next thing's going to be: full body suits that let you feel virtual reality.
So more VR.
Be the next.
There's a company where that makes it's like a rumble pack, but for the back of your chair, and it syncs up with music, and you can sync it up with video games. It's also in a backpack form, but basically just rumbles with the bass.
Will it sync up with your underwear?
They have chairs in theaters that do that too, which I always thought was a cool idea. Actually, we've got another story in here, Corey, that I guess you probably can't see Google Docs, but we've got a story here called Tesla Suit. This full body suit lets you feel virtual reality. The Tesla Suit is a wireless suit created by a UK company. This is from Futurism.com, by the way. Claims that their innovation can allow users to feel sensations in the virtual world. If the prototype is brought to market, it could revolutionize the world of entertainment. Ultimately, the device works by using an integrated electromuscular stimulation. The range can vary from a gentle breeze to the impact of a speeding bullet. The latter may not sound terribly enjoyable, but of course it is simulating the sensation. You will not actually be getting, oh, thanks for opening up an ad right in front of me that I don't see how I can close. But technically speaking, the Tesla Suit is a series of sensors that allow the user to feel sensation of movements in the virtual reality space. So what do you guys think of that?
Did you see the price point at the bottom of the page?
No, because I got this ad. Oh, I just figured out is the X to get out of the ad was
Oh,
behind
damn.
your face, Corey.
It's sorry.
$1,500.
How much?
You can pre-order one now for $1,499 plus shipping and handling and taxes and treatment for the aneurysm you just got. Damn, dude, $1,500. Yeah,
It's not for the casual gamer.
no,
obviously.
no, it's not. It's also not for the budget gamer. So if you scour the Steam sales every month, this probably isn't for you. But someday it will be.
And probably doesn't work with any of those games. It probably just works with like tech demos right now.
Yeah. No, but it's. I mean, I just think it's great because this is obviously where gaming is going.
Yes.
And I. Yeah. So I mean, I'm glad. There was another one I sent you a while back where they were doing similar things with Sonic. Oscillation or whatever they were allowing that would allow you to feel sensations that were happening in virtual space,
Right.
with sonic sensations.
All of this stuff only means anything to me in that this is the future, and someday this will make sense for me to own one.
I don't know. At one point, it's like I want to jump in the game. I don't want to put on a scuba gear to play the game. On another point, it's like the Xbox One controller has the directional vibrations on each side, and that actually adds a lot. When you're playing Forza, if you hit a curb on the left side, you can feel
the
left side vibrating. It's like,
Yeah, that would be nice.
That makes sense for me to own something like that. It doesn't make sense at this point for me to own this bodysuit.
I mean, it's about creating a truly immersive experience, and that's what I'm excited about, that idea. My question though is, can you put your dick in it?
I already asked you whether or not it would rumble your crotch when you sat in that chair.
Yeah.
Hey, real quickly, do you want to? We'll run out of time.
Yeah, we should wrap this up.
Really quickly. Hey, it's time for this with the buttons that I'm gonna push. There you go. CES is happening. We're done with the second day, on into the third. CNET has us all covered. There's a fantastic link in the show notes where you can go and
As
check
there is
out
to all of
that
our
stuff.
news that we talk about.
Links to all of the things we talked
Except for
about.
the actual news.
Except for the actual news, which is just Bill writing paragraphs. But Las Vegas Consumer Entertainment Expo. It's really cool stuff. For some reason, Netflix is number one on this list. I'm not entirely sure why Netflix belongs at CES.
Because it's gone globally, essentially. It is in every major market now. It was in 60 countries at the end of last year. At the end of 2015, it was in 60 countries. Now it's in like 190 countries.
130, except for China, North Korea, Syria, and Crimea, because of government.
Yeah, and so the only market that's left to get into that matters is China.
Yeah,
which is pretty amazing.
CEO Reed Hastings says it's totally cool.
Streaming.
Yeah. But there's a whole bunch of new trailers stuff. GM CEO Mary Barra used a keynote address to show off the company's new Bolt. It's an all-electric compact car. It'll enter production, 200-mile max range, depending on how you drive. So probably like a 40-mile range for me. Tons of cool tech.
Nissan Renault announced that they would have 10 autonomous vehicles on the road available for sale by 2020.
Like 10 different models?
10 models.
Wow. That's
now,
cool.
to what extent they're autonomous they will be autonomous.
Autonomous, like it stays between the lines and accelerates and decelerates.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That bit about Oculus, their price points. Intel released some cool stuff about what the hell is that? That is a RealSense 3D camera to create a version of augmented reality projected on a screen that also protects the wearer's eyes. So we're advancing the augmented reality thing. Microsoft, what did they call it? The Microsoft.
Oh, the HoloLens.
HoloLens, that thing. Yeah. Yep. Got that thing. That's cool. Go check out this whole list.
Intel had a new dongle that apparently is actually going to make using it for like on your television actually worthwhile.
What's a dongle?
It's funny because I asked you the same thing. It's a USB that essentially allows you to turn. That is essentially everything you need for a computer.
And they call it a dongle.
Yeah.
That's stupid. They should call it something that doesn't sound like a euphemism for a weenus.
It's an HDMI dongle that you can plug into your TV and basically allows you to control your TV like a what?
It's an HDMI dongle that you just stick into a port, and it's just
allows you to turn your TV into a computer though, which is kind of cool.
Like a Amazon Fire Stick or something, yeah.
Chromecast.
Chromecast is a dongle.
Kind of like a Chromecast. No, it's not. A Chromecast is not a dongle, but it's similar.
We're learning stuff about dongles. Yeah.
Let's skip all the stuff in the middle.
Check all that
we
list.
have robots.
Oh, there's a really cool twisty screen. The screens, the high definition screens that you can roll up like a newspaper. There's cool tech stuff to check that out. Yeah. So yeah, go check those out. Facebook is killing phone numbers. Whatever. That's an opinion piece we don't care about. Power Wi-Fi.
It's an interesting idea, but
the idea that now you can use
future,
Facebook.
Telephones will go the way of cable television.
Right. No, I know.
There's no need for them, and it's cheaper and easier to do it through the internet. So.
Right. Well, because I can text you, I can call you, I can video chat with you, I can send you things, including money, and all using Facebook Messenger, and it's about to take over the whole freaking internet. So
and the best part, you don't have to remember anybody's fucking number, and you don't have to punch it in, and blah blah blah.
Yeah. So pretty soon, Facebook accounts or the like in the future will be synonymous, or in fact, just replace. What's your phone number?
You just have an internet presence that.
I don't think there's any way to get away from that. Honestly, we're moving
too far down this path.
Yeah. It's. The writing is on the wall for that, and terrestrial things like phone lines and cable is gone or on its way out, and all be replaced by internet presence.
And iPhones will be charging without wires now, which I'm really excited about. No wires for charging, no wires for earbuds. Very excited about that.
Yes,
we need to get away from wires connected to our
wires
phones.
Are the worst thing ever.
That was demoed at CES.
Yes, it was. Like calling those two-wheeled self-balancing monstrosities hoverboards, the term wireless charging is not what you really think of it. It's a whole bunch of technical stuff that we've worked out on the show before, but it's basically sending signals to a chip with tiny bits of power in them that is then converted to charge a battery. And it's very cool. And if your phone actually, the newer models will be made with these, but if you bought this, you can buy this aftermarket case, which collects the wireless juice and plugs it straight into your phone's jack, which is also
nice.
cool. Yeah,
it's the case. That's what I like.
Yeah. Well, that means everyone who's
phone.
Well, that means everyone who's on an old 5S like me will still be able to wirelessly charge their iPhone with this giant bulky thing, but it's still awesome. I would put my phone in a giant bulky case if it meant I didn't have to remember to charge it every day. It just charges while I'm in the house. That's cool. Very, very cool.
So here's a question. Is it a drone if you ride inside of it?
That depends on whether or not you can affect its movement.
Yeah.
I think.
The eHang 184, this from Fortune.com as well, it can carry one passenger for flights up to 23 minutes. It says it's basically a Florida gyrocopter man. What? Oh, the guy who brought the letters to the Congress.
Right.
On Wednesday at the CES show, Chinese drone manufacturer eHang unveiled eHang 184, the first fully electronic autonomous aerial vehicle capable of carrying a passenger up to 220 pounds for short distances. Travel is controlled mostly by an onboard tablet. And,
so yeah, if you sit in the chair and you say, take me here, and you click on a map and it picks you up and takes you there, it's still a drone. You're just a package. If you can actually take control and fly that shit yourself, that's no longer a drone.
I gotta say, I don't think I'm comfortable riding around and buying the machine that I mean, like, it's one thing when I'm riding in an airplane that is a commercial airplane that is piloted by another human being, even if it's on autopilot, at least they can take over or something. Like, I want to be able to take over.
Well, I'm sure there's like an emergency gently leave me here button, probably.
But this little thing is 5 feet tall. It's got four arms with eight rotor drone something or others.
Yeah, it's just a big giant quadcopter.
It's pretty small. It's smaller than a car. And it's cool, kind of cool. Check it out.
It's cool. I don't want one.
I don't want one because I can't fly myself.
But. Yeah, then it becomes aircraft and a helicopter, and you have to get a license.
I don't like the weight limit. I feel like it's judging me.
You are a big fatty.
And you have to. By the way, you have to get a license to fly a drone anyway.
Now, do you have a drone license?
Is this in the same category as like the Google self-driving car? Would you say that's like the same type of?
Well, no, because I can take over that thing. I can tell it that I'm going to drive now, and it'll let me drive, unless someone hacks it and kicks me out.
Well, the other difference is that if something goes wrong, the Google car can just put on the brakes. If something goes wrong in this one, you fall out of the sky and die.
Well, there could be like a 12-foot weight limit or height limit, right?
So he's probably got a parachute that unveils that pops out or something.
No, that would exceed the weight limit, dude.
I don't know.
There's a lot to work out with this one.
In an autonomous flying drone that doesn't have a parachute.
Well, hey, are you? There's another problem too. Especially if you're blind, you have trouble seeing, and you can't really get a drone pilot's license. This might not help with that, but it could help you walk down the street. Artificial intelligent smartphones. Tiny device wraps around your ear and connects a smartphone via a small cable. It's not Bluetooth connected yet, but it will be, I'm sure. Basically, it uses a camera on your face that looks at what you're looking at and then describes it to you. It's super neat. It uses
such a simple idea.
It is. Well, the artificial intelligence that identified our black folks as zoo animals just not so long ago would need to be perfected before we can really put blind people on the street with a camera telling them what's in front of them. Right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. But this is an example of one of the ways that AI will a practical use for AI that can truly change the lives for some people.
And I quite love the ability to say there's an app for that
again. For blind people.
Yeah.
To see.
Absolutely.
Through their ears.
Blind people presumably have ways of getting around that particular impairment when using a smartphone as well, because Siri talks to you now.
Yeah.
So what if Siri's telling you where everything is? Like, where's the potato chips? Yeah. It's directly in front of you.
Yeah.
That's outstanding. I'm very excited for that.
And as cool as that is, this is the one I'm really excited about because, as you know, I'm a skier, and I love to ski, but I'm getting old. And as old as I am, my knees are like twice that age because of the skiing. And this is a little shock absorber that attaches to your knee. And it's funny that I saw this like literally the day after I was thinking about how like all of our joints, our knees especially, take a lot of wear and tear over the years. As a runner, runners out there, their knees hurt all the time, and I'm one of those people as well. I don't understand why we all don't wear compressing. You know how you have like those knee braces that you wear?
Copper fit things.
Like I wear those when I go skiing now, but I should wear them like every time I go play basketball or run. And I think we should all do that from a young age because it'll just make them last longer. Well, now you can just have this surgically implanted shock absorber.
This is so awesome. The Atlas system. They're calling it the Atlas system, because Atlas carried heavy things, including the Earth.
Right.
The Atlas system design was evaluated in 40 patient-prospective multi-center clinical studies. I thought there was going to be some results and not just a quote. That sucks. That's basically a bunch of rah-rah, my company is awesome. It'll help you keep walking. It's good.
Yeah, it'll allow your knees to last years longer than they would otherwise, basically. And that's what I'm excited about.
But at what point are you more machine than man?
You know what? I don't care. Because
it doesn't
for
matter.
me, it's
as long-
about it's going to be about being able to continue to enjoy an experience that I appreciate, which is skiing moguls, and moguls are just really hard on your knees.
Well, it also doesn't matter unless you're twisted and evil.
I'm gonna say it's
and I'm already twisted.
It's a slippery slope.
Slippery
into,
slope.
Augmented limbs and neurons that make you see through walls, and Deus Ex will come alive.
I'm all for it. I can't wait.
Yeah, you're preaching to the wrong choir if you don't think bionics are where we want to be. But so what do you think really is? You're saying that bionics are a slippery slope to the dark side.
That's the whole warning behind Star Wars. That's why look at Vader.
I thought it was love and jealousy and fear and hatred were the slippery slope to the dark side.
Cold metal.
I just don't think. Just think about it. You guys like sports, so think about it in this form. Sports won't be impressive anymore because you have people that can run 100 miles in like a minute.
What are you saying? It's not going to be impressive.
Dude, that'll just make it more impressive. That's like saying auto racing is boring because they all drive cars.
But
imagine how cool basketball will be when the hoops are 20 feet off the ground.
So steroids are bad, but
steroids bad.
Implants are okay.
Steroids are bad. Implants
Again,
are good.
you're talking to the wrong people. Scott Johnson talked about this at one point on a forecast about how there should be different leagues that have different rules. There should be like one league where everything's pure, no steroids, no surgical enhancements, no robotics or anything like that. And then like another league where it's like you can be as much of a robot, you can be a cyborg you can be a cyborg on steroids.
All right, so here's what we do then. In order to compete in the cyborg league, you have to compete in the standard league for a certain number of years first.
Nah, bullshit.
No, I think that is perfect because then when you retire from the NFL, you can go to the CNFL. That's the Cyborg National Football League.
Yeah, no.
There's been so many like ultimate leagues, and there's that one like basketball league where they use trampolines. That didn't work well.
Yeah.
No, it didn't.
But this isn't trampolines. This is cyborgs, Corey.
You guys want rollerball?
Trampolines.
You want a rollerball future?
Yes.
If anybody's still listening to this shit, what's the matter with you? Obviously enjoyed the show though, so talk about something on iTunes. Give us a rating. We like to hear from you guys, our listeners. We love you. Give us some 5 stars. Thanks, Libsyn, for the bandwidth. All members of the network for their contributions. That was me and Bill and Corey hanging out to the end again this week. Thanks so much to Great Pacific for our theme music. Thanks to everyone for tuning in at home. Find us at Northwest Nerd Network at gmail.com and on Facebook.com/NW Nerd Network. New show as soon as we can get it together, and we'll let you know when that is. Everybody say goodbye before the music runs out.
Goodbye. Bye.
Love you.
See you. Love you guys.
Stitching the patches again and 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 again.
I'm impressed that my bladder survived.
Mine too, dude. I was doing the pee-pee dance.
All right, well that was fun. Let me know about skiing. If you're gonna make it.
I'll do my best. It is 100% dependent on whether or not she has the weekend free.
Okay, well send me her phone number and I'll call your mother-in-law.
I probably won't do that.
Aaron,
let Sean go skiing with Bill.
Yeah.
Well, hey, that was fun. This should we should do
just
this more
let
often.
you guys know that I am moving out next Friday, so if we are doing a podcast, it might be from a hotel room or the back of my car.
Dude, hotel room. Where are you moving out to?
Burbank.
What? Huh?
Oh wow.
Or the California thing, right?
Yes.
Nice. Yeah. No, you told me about that. Congratulations. When is a good time then on Friday?
Well, it's a 20-hour drive, so
And you're just going straight there. You're not even gonna.
we're gonna stop in Oregon. I gotta buy a bed, so I figure buy it in Oregon where there's no tats.
Oh yeah, and also a militia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'll stop
watch out for
by.
those guys.
I'll stop by Riot for a little, and then
make sure everyone's still good and pissed off at the government. Yeah. Well, that's good.
Well, I'll be in Sandpoint next week, so I'm not sure this next Friday. So I'm not sure we'll be up for a show that day anyway, because I'll be on a ski hill.
We want to try for Saturday then, when Corey will be at his new place or in a hotel.
I don't know if that's gonna work either, because I'm gonna have company, and I don't want to. There's gonna be like 6. I don't know how many people.
Are we preemptively canceling the show for next week?
Or doing it earlier in the week?
Well, I'll see about Thursday. What are you doing Thursday, Corey?
Nothing.
Awesome.
It would have to be a little bit earlier than usual though, because I have a meeting at 2:30.
All right, I will see what I got for
Okay.
Katie's schedule Thursday. We'll make it happen.
Okay, we'll figure something out.
All right, kids. It's been
All right,
real.
guys.
See ya.
Bye. Bye-bye.